Today we'll be starting new chapter, work, power and energy. This chapter we have done in class 10, so you must be having a good knowledge about this chapter. So we will not do that much in details. Mainly we'll do the type of problems which you did not handle in class 10. Okay, it's slightly a higher standard problem of the chapter work, power, energy. What is work? A revision of the same. Work is said to be done when a force produces a displacement in a body. Work formula we have W is equal to F into S. And if there is an angle, W is equal to Fs cos theta. And you know different cases when theta is 0 degree, when theta is 90 degree, theta is 180 degree. We have done all these cases in class 10, so I will not be doing the same again. This topic we have done in details in class 10. And I think I also taught you in quite details, so you have the basic concepts. The SI unit of work is Joule, and it is scalar. Actually, all work, power, energy, all of them are scalars. About that also you know. Okay. What is power? The rate of doing a work is called power. Power formula we have work upon the time. There is another formula of power. Power is equal to F into V, force into average velocity or average speed. So power is also scalar. And the SI unit of power is watt. Other units are horsepower, HP, megawatt, gigawatt. They are in the form of prefix multipliers. 1 HP is equal to how much watts? You know that 746 watts, approximately 750 watts. Power also you know. It's only a recap of last year's we are doing. What is energy? We say it is the capacity of a body to do a work. Various forms of energy we have. Mechanical energy of two types, potential and kinetic. Potential energy formula we have, that is gravitational potential energy formula we have, mgh. And kinetic energy formula we have got half mv square. And I think you know the derivation of that formula, no? Kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. Last year we had done the derivations. Kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. You all know that, or should I derive once again the same?
Once again.
Derivation of the. Once again, you have forgotten your class 10, huh? Because actually class 10 you did not do only. You have not done class 10. For proving the formula, kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. We take a body of mass m on which we'll apply a force F and make the body move to a distance S. This is the distance S in the direction of force, applied. And the body is reaching at this point where we are taking final velocity equal to V. There is calculus method also, so we are not going to do it by calculus method. Calculus method you have to do integration, and integration we have not learned, so we will be using the alternative method. Initial velocity will take 0, and the body is moving from this point to this point with a constant acceleration. So kinetic energy, any kind of energy is work done capacity, or whatever we do the work to move the body from here to here, that is the measure of its kinetic energy. The kinetic energy will be writing equal to work done. It is measured by the work done by force F. It is equal to the work done by the force F. Work formula we got F into S in the same direction, that means cos 0 degree is 1, so I'll write only F into S. Force formula will be writing MA, so MA into S will become MA S. Now I'll be using the motion formula like this. V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. V square U value 0, write 0 square plus 2AS 0 is nothing. We get V squared by 2 is the value of AS. That value will put, keep M as it is, and AS value I will replace and write V squared by 2. Your formula becomes half mv squared. This is the formula of kinetic energy. Kinetic energy. Kinetic energy we can denote by capital K. So K is equal to half mv squared. This is how we derived in class 10, and once again deriving, because you people did not do class 10. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So we have taken initial velocity 0.
We are supposing that the body initially is at rest, and
Yes, sir.
now we are giving a force and storing this much energy in it due to its motion. We are assuming that the initial energy before applying any force was 0. So now the body is on the body, this much work is done. So that will be the value of kinetic energy stored in it. Okay? All right. There is another theorem. It's called work
Yes, sir.
energy theorem. I think this one we are done, but not in details, I suppose. There is a theorem called work energy theorem. What is it? Does anybody know work energy theorem? What is work energy theorem? Work energy theorem? Say any one of you, Give your answer fast, no, don't delay. What is work energy theorem?
Sir, to make the energy which is required to the work which needs to be done to hold a body, moving body.
No. Work energy theorem says that the amount of work done is equal to change in the kinetic energy of the body. Work energy theorem states that the amount of work done by the body or on a body is equal to the change in its kinetic energy. And I'll show you. Suppose initial velocity we may not take 0. So suppose it is u and final velocity is v. You have to show that the work done on the body is equal to change in kinetic energy. Change in kinetic energy. This is called work energy theorem. Change in kinetic energy. How to prove it? To prove it, we'll be doing like this. W is equal to, first we'll write here F into S. Proof. W I'll keep as F value and write here MA into S. This is the diagram. We know the formula V squared is equal to U squared plus 2AS. V squared minus U squared by 2 is the value of AS. V squared minus U squared by 2 is equal to AS. I'll put the value, right, M as it is, AS value I'll put here. The value of AS is V squared minus U squared by 2. Now you can separate now, right? Half here, half. Multiply, you get mv squared minus mu squared. Or you can separate it, you write half mv squared minus half mu squared. This is equal to work done on the body. Work done on the body. Half mv squared minus half mu squared. That means the amount of work done is equal to change in its kinetic energy. What is half mv squared? Final kinetic energy. Minus half mu square is initial kinetic energy.
So how is it common?
Huh?
Or how you to get half as common? Half.
1 by 2 I'm writing in the front here. 1 by 2 I'm writing in the front. Suppose you are having anywhere mv.
Yes, sir.
mv by 2. You can't write half mv. You can't write half mv.
Yes, sir.
I'm having mv by 2. Can't I write half mv? It is not common. I'm just writing it in front. It is not common. Whole thing divided by 12, like we are half here in this thing. Well, that much basic you should have. Okay? Say fast.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That means this is how we can prove work energy theorem. Amount of work done by the body or even on the body is equal to change in its kinetic energy. Okay. Now you can give one more heading here. Relationship between, give the heading relationship between kinetic energy and momentum, momentum of a body, relationship between kinetic energy and momentum of a body. Let us find the relationship of kinetic energy. First, let K is equal to half mv square. Mark this equation 1. Momentum is P. P formula we got mg. Equation number 2. What I will do, I will put the value of V from here, from equation 2, in equation 1. You connect P by M is the value of V, P by M. Now write, therefore, from equation 1, mark this one as equation number 2, not this one. Right? Since P is equal to mv, therefore V is equal to P by M. From equation 1, we can add that K is equal to half M. The value of V are putting here P by M and square here. And to cross multiply, right? 2K is equal to M into P square by M square. 1M cancelled. And that P square value is coming 2MK. Or we can add P is equal to square root of 2MK. This is the relationship. This is the relationship between momentum and kinetic energy, or kinetic energy and momentum. There is kinetic energy for a particular body of same mass. Kinetic energy is proportional to P square, directly proportional to P square, square of the momentum. If the momentum is doubled, kinetic energy will increase by 4 times, Q square. If momentum is trebled, then kinetic energy will increase by 3 square, that is 9 times. And like that. So P square is equal to 2MK. This is the formula.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
Say. Tell
Sir,
me.
potential energy and momentum is same.
Potential energy formula is mgh. Or it is same.
Oh.
Potential energy we denote by speed of E. We denote it by speed of E. E.
Okay,
and
sir.
we denote it by U, capital U. Capital U denotes the potential energy, U, not P.
Okay, sir.
How will they be same? They are completely different. Okay, understood the derivation, how it comes? Relationship between kinetic energy and momentum. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, there is one more way of doing it. There is one more way of doing this, getting this relation. Okay, just try to understand that. I'll mark equation 1 and equation 2. Equation 1, I'll multiply by M, right? We are multiplying. Another method I'm showing, multiplying by M. Multiplying by M, the equation 1. Equation 1, I'm multiplying by M, so it becomes MK. You can add half, multiply by M, it becomes M square V square. Cross multiply 2MK. M square V square is the value of P square. Finished. Therefore, P is equal to h square root 2 mk. Done. This is also a way of doing it. This is also a way of doing it. Can you digest this method? Can you understand this method?
Understood.
So which one you found here? The first one or
Sir,
second one?
m square was that side, no? Then it should have cancelled one m from the left side, no?
Why should I cancel? I am multiplying, so why I cancel? If I cancel, I will get the same thing back. What is the use of multiplying then? What is the use of multiplying then? Alright? Multiply by m and m. So why the p equal to mv we have? So it will come square, no, n square, v square will come. Which I write as p. If you can cancel again, then you get the same thing. Again, you will multiply and cancel, multiply and cancel, multiply, cancel. It will never be ending then. What is the use then of multiplying them? We are multiplying both the sides so that we are getting m square, b square, which is becoming p square. Understood? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you have to, I think class 10 also you have done that. Law of conservation of energy. Energy is neither created nor it can be destroyed, but it can be only changed from one form to the other form. I think you know about that. So, the total energy of the body remains constant. I think we have done that one also. That may not be coming now because that for a free falling body in class 10 used to show that the total energy remains constant at all the points of motion. At the top point, at the point somewhere in between and just before reaching the ground, total energy remains constant. Only energy conversion taking place. I think you have the idea about that. Is it okay? All right, boys. You know that, no? Energy at this point, energy, I'm talking about energy, I'm not talking about kinetic energy or potential energy. Energy means the total energy. Energy at the point A and at the point energy remains constant. You know it, no? Total energy at this point and total energy at this point must be equal. This is law of conservation of energy. Now,
Yes, sir.
at all the points, energy here, everywhere, the energy means the total energy I'm talking about. The total energy of the body remains constant. Only it changes its form from one point to the another point. Only it changes the form. Okay. There are two types of forces. One is called conservative force. One is called non-conservative force. Non-conservative force. The force which keeps the total energy at all the points equal is called conservative force. And the force which causes loss of energy or which causes energy not to remain constant at different points is called non-conservative force. One simple example is friction. Friction is non-conservative force. Why? Because we know suppose the energy at this point is 100 joules. But here you will find due to friction there will be some loss of energy, and here the energy will not be equal. It is supposed measured as 80 joule. Total energy must remain constant. Then here we have to give an account. We say that the 20 joule is the loss of energy due to friction. Or friction, the work done by the friction is equal to 20 joule. We say that. The friction is an example of non-conservative force. Another example, suppose I am giving a force like this and the body moves. Due to this force, there will be no loss of energy. But due to friction, there will be loss of energy. and the energy of initial point, energy of the final point will not be the same. Whenever energy is not same, though the energy has to be constant, the total amount of energy supplied must be, you have to give an amount. From there only energy is neither created nor be destroyed. It seems that there is some energy destroyed, 20 joule of the energy is destroyed. Actually, it is not destroyed. That much energy is used by the friction to do the work. If question asks you how much is the work done by friction, you say 20 joule, the difference of these two energies. How much is the work done by the friction? We will say 20, the difference of these two values. So in this case, for example, we can write a work done by friction, work done by friction equal to 20 joule. We write this. And if they ask you, find the force of friction, work done by friction, work formula will write friction force into the displacement equal to 20. This distance should be known. Suppose this distance anything, I take 10 is equal to 20, this will go. If friction value is coming to 2 Newton, we can say that how much is the friction offered? We say 2 Newton. And if they ask you find the coefficient of friction, then F is equal to, we write mu into normal reaction, write mu into mg is equal to 2n. The mu value you have to find, suppose mass is given, mass of the body, I take anything, say 2 kg, g value is 10, this is also 10, the mu value will come out 0.1. This is how we can proceed and work out. If anywhere you see that question is asking, find the amount of friction or find the value of friction force, for that we will be checking the energy at this point and energy at the other point. There will be a mismatch. Energy of the 2 points will not be equal. That means whatever is the difference coming here between the 2 points, the value of the energy of the 2 points, that is equal to the work done by the friction. If question asks you only find the value of friction, we will do like this. Find the coefficient of friction, we can do like this. Hope you have understood.
So what's that small letter F?
Friction.
Yes, sir.
Friction. Small f I wrote in the previous chapter also as friction, no? Okay, today we are doing this much. Okay, next class we have not. I'll discuss further in that class.